Let's use Montgomery County, Maryland as a for instance. Health authorities there are telling me that as many as 50% of all the vaccination appointments being made at the Montgomery County Health Department are coming from people who are abusing the system, sometimes unintentionally. The biggest problem, health officials say, is so-called link sharing. That happens when someone who is eligible for vaccination and who pre-registered with the county gets an email from their local health department offering them an electronic link to get a vaccine appointment. Problem is, after making that appointment, a lot of those people are so excited about it, they will share that link with friends or family members who then try to make their own appointments, even though they don't qualify. Health authorities are then forced to scramble to dump those appointments out of the system and clear the way for those who should be getting shots first. Listen to Montgomery County Health official Mary Anderson express the frustration.
And it completely slows down the process. To me, it's like taking a vaccination from your 92-year-old mother or your grandmother or something like that. We've been imploring people for the last several weeks not to share an appointment link. If they get a link from us to to make an appointment, that link is for them and them only.
The master computer system letting this happen is operated by the state. It's a system called PrepMod. It cannot be modified, however, to stop link sharing. So for now, county authorities are reduced to begging people to stop. Scott Broom, WUSA 9.